Hey y'all, and welcome back to Our Road Less Traveled. I don't want to alarm anyone, but we witnessed a shooting.
We did. To touch on kind of what we ended the last video on the truck update with, we didn't actually witness a murder because the guy didn't die, but he did get shot. The first place that we visited in South Dakota was Deadwood. And Deadwood, as many of y'all know, is known for the gold rush era in the 1800s. It's also known for Western heroes such as Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, and there's actually a cemetery in Deadwood in which both of those are buried. Deadwood to me was kind of like Gatlinburg with a Western theater. They do a show on the old grounds of where the city hall used to be, and they actually do a mock shooting to reenact one of the shootings in town.
Hey! Now that's more like it. We are Deadwood Alive, and we bring history to life right here on Main Street, Deadwood, 6 days a week, all summer long.
All right, nobody's moving, nobody get hurt. Good. That goes for you too, Law Dog. What are you doing? And you, wipe that stupid grin off your stupid face. Oh, that's great. What you gonna do, Law Dog? Shot David.
You take care of Blood. I'm gonna take this scumbag to jail.
Here's to you, boys. Oh, boys, where'd you go?
In 1877, in the Continental Hotel, David Lunt was actually shot in the head. And amazingly, they shot right in the forehead. Amazingly, he lived another 67 days, and the only reason that he died was a bone fragment had abscessed in his brain and caused a hemorrhage. Deadwood's a really nice place.
Yeah, it was a cute little town. We walked through downtown and saw some horse-drawn stagecoaches.
On a piece of grass, walking down the road, telling me how long you gonna stay here, Joe.
If you can imagine Gatlinburg with casinos and bars instead of saloons,
Yeah.
saloons and casinos.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fitting because that's what Deadwood was. It was a gold rush town with, 2 casinos and, a bunch of drinking and a bunch of roughnecks that, they were trying to go from being a territory to a state. So,
yeah,
we liked it. The streets were brick lined.
Yeah. We kind of expected it to be kind of dirt because based on the show, Deadwood, you would think that it would look like it would just be a dirt road, but it wasn't.
We really thought that it was going to be like an old West ghost town, I guess. Yeah. And that is absolutely not what it is. It's very grown up.
Yeah.
So South Dakota was the 40th state admitted to the Union. It was admitted in 1889 and has roughly 800 to 850,000 people. With that said, we love South Dakota, and the climate here is just fantastic. So from there, we went to Spearfish.
Yep.
And in order to get there, we took 14A. So if you're in Deadwood and you take, I think it's 385 to 14A, that will take you all the way into Spearfish, but it does it via the Spearfish Canyon Road, which is basically a scenic drive along the Spearfish Creek and Little Spearfish Creek.
Beautiful, beautiful drive. I was telling Clay, I just can't get over how green South Dakota is. It's just so lush, and water flowing and waterfalls along that road. It's just more beautiful than I had imagined. The only part of South Dakota we'd ever visited before was the Badlands, and I just kind of had in my head that all of South Dakota was like that, and it isn't.
No, it's not. So along the scenic drive on 14A, we stopped and did a little fly fishing.
Yeah.
The water is freezing cold.
Stella tried to get in and lay down, and she kept doing it over and over, but it
was too cold.
She would lay down and then get right back up, and lay down and get right back up. She had a blast though. She loves water.
Spearfish, it's just a laid-back town. You know, you're not going to find amusement parks. You're not going to find all kinds of attractions.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got the canyon road. You can go hiking through the canyon. You've got a couple museums, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Topic of note: Spearfish Creek is the #1 rated trout fish stream in South Dakota. #1. Spearfish has 0 fly shops. Deadwood, 0 fly shops. Custer, 0 fly shops. Sturgis, 0 fly shops. The only fly shop you can find anywhere near the Spearfish Creek, you gotta go to Rapid City.
Yep.
I found that interesting. So from there we went to Sturgis.
Yeah. Just wanted to see it. I'd never seen it before.
Wasn't really impressed.
Saw it, did it. That's it.
There.
Drove through and drove back out.
So from there we drove through Rapid City.
We found a winery called Prairie Berry Winery.
And you'll know it because they have Red Ass Mule wine. Maybe it's just Red Ass wine. It's a rhubarb wine.
Oh yeah, Red Ass rhubarb. That's what it is.
And it's actually pretty good. I don't know that I could drink, a bottle of it, but
It's kind of tart.
it's a little tart, and the tartness, you don't really taste the tartness here. It's more of a feeling. It's a sensation.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think I could do more than a glass.
But we did find a few wines there that we did like.
We
a
did
lot.
Calamity Jane and
Blue Suede Shoes.
and then a Brianna wine.
Yeah.
So
So
we're probably going to have those with dinner tonight. We're going to splat a chicken and
yeah.
grill it on the open grill here.
Well, don't forget the reason we came here was to visit Custer State Park. We rode through Custer State Park, and we thought that the wildlife was just there every single day, but we have some friends that have gone through there and said they didn't see the wildlife. So we saw a whole herd of bison that was, I don't know, a couple hundred of them probably.
Jesus.
They just walked right in front of the truck and down both sides of it. We got this close to one. I mean, he came that close to the truck.
Yeah, they were within 3 feet of the truck. That's a big old boy. Look at that massive one.
Just like that, they're all gone.
The donkeys, we got to feed the donkeys.
It's okay to feed them, but nothing else in the park.
And surprisingly, they're really gentle when you feed them.
Yeah.
They don't even get close to biting your fingers.
Just so you know, they like carrots, and some of them like apples, but none of them like oranges, because we saw people feeding them oranges and they were spitting them out.
Yeah, they'll eat carrots all day long.
Yeah.
About 50% of them, maybe a little less, like the apples, but you have to quarter them. You can't give them a whole apple.
Or they'll bite it.
Or they'll if
try to
they'll
bite
even take it.
Yeah.
We only had one that would take a whole apple out of about 12.
Yep.
So I started cutting them up, and then we found several that would eat them quartered. then we had a Boy Scout troop that came through, and evidently they had some oranges, and they tried to give them orange slices, and they would take them, but they'd spit them out, so they don't like oranges. You're in the middle of the road, buddy.
I don't even know where around here.
Down the road.
There's a lot of animals that like the picture because they're taking
Here he goes.
I don't have it. Sorry.
An apple? I'll try it. Keep going though.
No dogs. They're donkeys.
No, don't like oranges.
We love Custer.
It was beautiful.
It's got a lot of campgrounds in it, and from what we could tell, there was quite a bit of availability. Either that or people rented them, out and then just didn't show up. But several of them seemed to have availability.
Yeah.
I would
and
say
they had room for a big rig.
I would say half of them had water power.
At least one of them had sewer too.
Yeah. So it's easy to stay here. The roads are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're not potholes and stuff like that. They're really good.
I would say for this area, Custer is a good home base.
Yes.
And then you can go, on several, there's Needles Highway and Custer State Park, Spearfish, Deadwood, Sturgis, all within an hour from here.
Hands down, I would stay at Custer and then do Rapid City, Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, because those are all one-day things. Whereas Custer, you can spend multiple days in Custer State Park.
Right.
It's that big. It's that pretty.
Especially if you like to hike. I know there's a lot of hiking trails.
They have a bison roundup coming up to where they actually go round up the herd. There's just a lot to do here in a very nice, area. And it's not hot. It's not overly windy.
Yeah. And we can highly recommend this campground, which is called Custer's Gulch RV Park and Campground. It is. We have so much space.
Yeah, there's easily 30, 40 feet in between sites. It's all grass.
Especially compared to the last place we were at, where I think probably 6 RVs were in this one space that we are in right now.
Well, the last place we were in, we went to put out our awning, and before it got all the way out, it actually touched the rig next to us. So that was not fun. But we love this place.
It's so green, and there's just little hills and mountains everywhere.
They have functional fire pits.
This site that we're in, they said this was a new thing, but they have a pergola up over the picnic table, which is really nice, and we've sat under it several nights. But it's got laundry and bathrooms, the normal stuff a campground has. And just what we love most about it, I think, is the space.
Yeah.
And the peacefulness. It's just so quiet out here and so dark at night.
Very dark. You don't even have to pull your shades. It's that dark.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any lights in this park. The other thing is that the high has been like 60 or 76, 77.
Yeah, it's been
with a
fantastic.
Slight 1 or 2 mile an hour breeze. It's very, very pleasant.
Yeah, the humidity's been low. It's been just perfect weather while we've been here.
We do have a request from you guys. We're trying to decide if we're going to do North Dakota and Minnesota, or if we're going to do Minnesota and Wisconsin.
On our way to Michigan.
So put in the comments what you think. We've been told that the interstate going through North Dakota is like a cheese grater. But North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, put your favorite things to do in there and help us decide which direction we're going to go.
So that wraps up this week's video on South Dakota, and we'll see you next week on Our Road Less Traveled.
Subscribe.
Love it.